Hey there, my name is Rohit Kumar, and today we are going to discuss another very important journal of IEEE. And this particular journal deals with the specific issues of smart grid. So here is the name, IEEE Transactions on Smart Grid, and it is listed under the journal and magazines category of IEEE. So you can see that impact factor, eigen factor, article influence score, and the site scores are quite powerful, and that's why this journal is one of the top niche journals of IEEE. Now coming to the details of this particular journal. So here most of the articles are peer reviewed, means almost all of the articles are peer reviewed. Additionally, the IEEE PSPB manual is used to have the sort of guidelines to publish the articles. Additionally, in addition to this, the minimum 2 independent reviewers are used for peer review, and peer review is a process in which the experts of that particular domain in which your paper is submitted are supposed to evaluate your work, and they are supposed to give you the key inputs, or the kind of they are supposed to criticize your work from a positive point of view in order to get published. So if there are some shortcomings in your paper, they are supposed to give input that in this way you can improve your work. Okay, so here this peer review process is single blind review. Okay, means this is called the single blind peer review process because the reviewers do know the identity of authors, but the authors don't. So in this way, if the authors also don't know, if the reviewers also don't know the identity of authors, then it is called a double blind review because neither the reviewer nor the authors know about each other. And very few journals are double blind review. Most of them are single blind only. Okay. Now it is again a debated issue whether it's a good or bad, but we'll cover that issue in some other video. In some of my videos, we have discussed at this point also. So if you're interested, you can go and have a look. Additionally, the submission guidelines, the submit manuscript, author center, becoming reviewer, open access options are listed down like any other normal IEEE journal. And the popular articles and the latest published articles are provided here. The role of popular and latest published articles is to offer you the key domains or the key technologies which are in focus in accordance with this particular journal or transaction. And whenever we are going for publishing, then we need to go through at least some of the latest published articles, because these articles will give us a fine idea of what is the current focus of a particular journal, because the time to time the focus of the journal gets changed, and editorial board members and their policies also define the role and definition of the transaction or the journal's aim and scope time to time, because over the period of time new technologies come into the picture, and every journal or transaction is supposed to change their course of operation. So here you have the current issue and early access. So these two menus will help you in this regard to offer you the latest articles, and some of the latest published articles are listed down here also. So anywhere you can go and have a look. So here, like distributed event triggered secondary control for microgrids. So microgrids are in focus. Additionally, the triggering is in focus. Then high overload based situations are in focus. Then optimal power scheduling is in focus, because in grid or anyway means in any sort of network, power is a major concern, and considering the futuristic networks, low power devices are the focus. So in this way, obviously the sustainability means the efficient power utilization is the core of any network operation. So coming down to the other point, then reliability is in the focus, failure protection is in the focus, optimal load shedding, load balancing is in the focus. So you can have a fair idea that if I'm going to write a well mix of these sort of topics, then there is a fine probability that my article comes in the scope of aim and comes in the scope of this particular journal, and we should aim for publishing with this particular journal or transaction. Though it is not a guarantee, because despite writing a paper completely in the scope of a particular journal doesn't give you a surety that your articles will get published, because again, at what quality level you are writing a paper, what sort of details and analysis you are providing, all these things matter. Okay, so always whenever you are going for a top niche journal, do try to put maximum results and very good analysis, because you need to qualify at a better level in order to get succeed because so many well-known authors also try for such high impact factor and well-known journals. Now again the story of impact factor, and in my every video I try to make it very clear because it is a very common myth that impact factor is the only thing that you need to consider. No, impact factor is the last thing that you should consider. Firstly, you should see whether the journal is SCI indexed or not. Secondly, what is the Q ranking of the journal? Then comes the role of impact factor. Okay. Then here IEEE industrial applications, instrumentation societies, etc. are supporting signal processing society, these kind of IEEE communication society. So and computer society. So many different societies are supporting this publication, and in this way we can have idea that how well organized this particular transaction could have been. And here, if we see the editorial board members, then I think it is provided in the extra information or at the bottom. Oh, in the about journal it will be. So we go in the about journal, and here the publication related details. So here is the editorial board. Okay, so we'll see editorial board, and here you can see some of the related board members and their categorization also, because in elsewhere they provide the well-defined aggregation of different board members. So here you can see that papers are classified in two different tracks. One is the research paper, second is the application paper, third is the review paper. And accepting more research and review papers always help to improve the impact factor. So no surprise that this journal's impact factor is also good. Additionally, the impact factor, they have given open access policies, peer review policies, and the length related, means the over length charges $150 per page they have given here. Okay, now coming to the editorial board here. So Mr. Claudio is the editor-in-chief, University of Waterloo, Canada, and there are so many other associate editors here you can see, and these are more than 40, I think 40 to 45 editorial board members are there, and in this way you can see that how many activities are going on under the umbrella of this particular transaction. Okay, so in this way we can have a basic idea that means what sort of and at what level different activities are going on, means so many different categories papers, so many interdisciplinary papers are coming for publications, so many survey and review papers are coming for publication, and then these things help you to estimate that obviously the impact factor will be high, obviously the number of articles submitted will be high, obviously the total number of citations will be high. Okay, so whenever you are comparing a journal and choosing a particular journal, always think whether you are going to write a survey or practical based work. Secondly, what is your research domain, whether that particular journal or transaction is lying in your domain or not, and so on. Okay, now coming to the all issues, because history is very important and how long the journal is functioning, it is very important. So you can see it is started in 2010, and just within a span of 11 years, because 2022 is running, so within a span of 11 years only, it has reached such a great height. So it is makes me to remind the IEEE Internet of Things, because that also started near to 2013 or 14, and right now its impact factor is 9 point something. So you can imagine that these sort of journals who started almost 8 to 10 years back, and just within a span of 1 decade, they have reached such a great height. So obviously, such a vast editorial board team is functioning behind the success of these journal or transaction. Additionally, these journals are accepting the review and survey papers more to get a wider audience, additionally to get more citations and to have a better impact factor. And obviously, due to this myth that more impact factor is the better journal, I'm not saying that these journals are bad, but saying that higher impact factor is the only criteria to judge the quality of a journal, it is bad, because most of the open access journals have very high impact factor. Even so many international journal of something something have so many so high impact factor of 5 point something, 6 point something, but it doesn't make them a very good journal. Okay, so you should always go for the current or the early access articles, and then you should see the quality of the articles. Then you should see first thing that whether the journal is SCI, second whether it's a Q1 or Q2 indexed, then you should go for impact factor. So now we are going to jump onto directly the SCI indexing. So we are going to search the SCI list. It will end up at the Clarivate site. We'll paste her journal name, and here is the indexing. So Science Citation Index Expanded means it's an SCI journal, which is similar to SCI. And now we are going to see what's the Q ranking. So moving on to the SCI Mago site, here you have the H index of the journal, which is very powerful. Above than 100 is considered very good, and it is close to 200. It is a USA journal, and it is very much focused, because you can see that only computer science miscellaneous means including the different applications. But still, there is a single track, and which is a very good thing, because most of the journals like IoT journal, it has so many different tracks. Okay, so then obviously very large number of papers are supposed to get submitted. Okay. So here you can see that this journal's ISSN number is provided. The coverage is from 2010 to 2020. Then the homepage and the other related links are there. Then what is the scope? So here you can see that the journal aims to disseminate the result of research on smart grids related to the deliberatory influence, energy generation, transmission, distribution, and delivery. Okay, so mainly it focuses on the smart grids and the energy related issues. Now coming to the other things, so the principles of smart grid technology and the systems are also in the focus, and the manuscripts are welcome on the design, implementation, and evaluation of power system. Because ultimately, whenever we talk about the grid, power becomes the most important thing. Okay, now considering this scope, we are going to see the Q ranking. So you can see it's complete Q1. It makes it a perfect choice. Okay, so the journal is SCI, it's complete Q1, and the impact factor is close to 9. So I think it's a perfect choice. You should go for it. And additionally, some of the things like what is the key research domains, or the what are the key related areas, because if a journal or transaction is providing you a sort of idea when you are supposed to put the related work or the related keywords into focus, then you should focus that what sort of ideas I should work on. Then I'm going to tell you some of the related terms and key domains where you can look into, or you can focus your research in order to get better possibility of publication into this particular journal or transaction. So some of the related areas includes energy economics, mass transfer, control theory, wireless networks, control theory with respect to perceptual transmission, then the power engineering, traffic psychology, artificial neural networks, dynamic system theories, etc. Now coming to the keywords, so keywords will be most related to the title of the journal only. So the distributed generation, smart grid, energy storage, electric vehicles, vehicle to grid, energy management, energy demand management, etc. are some of the most related keywords. So by now you must have known that what are the some of the basic requirements for this particular journal. Additionally, more than 150 plus countries authors have been publishing their works with this particular journal or transaction, and that's why you may think that how powerful this particular journal is, and what are the opportunities of collaboration and to have a wide coverage across different domains and the various localities across the world. Now coming to the some of the alternative choices, because the authors who are publishing in this particular journal, they also publish their work in MDPI energies, then IIT generation, transmission and distribution, then the applied energy, IEEE transactions on power and energy, then automatica, then energy, then reliability engineering and system safety, procedure of SPIE, the International Society for Optical Engineering, etc. Coming to the switch of publisher, so you may switch to Elsevier, you may switch to MDPI, you may switch to Springer Nature, you may switch to Wiley, you may switch to IOP, you may switch to Hindawi, then the American Physical Society, the Association for Computing Machinery means ACM is also available. So you can see that so many other publishers are also available. So if your work didn't get published in some particular publisher or journal, then don't worry, there are so many other choices. Additionally, the rate of returning authors has always been on high in such journals, means who are SCI completely Q1 and a very good impact factor. So it is true with this particular journal also, and the rate of returning authors is more because of its powerful features. Now coming to the some of the institutions which are publishing their work with this particular journal. So some of the popular examples are the Simba University, the University of Texas System, University of Waterloo, Texas A&M University System, Texas A&M University, Nanyang Technological University, Technical University of Denmark, University of California, and the Ecole Polytechnic, okay, which is a Spanish institute, I think. Okay, then coming to the final conclusion, means because we have discussed almost all of the details, I think. So in my opinion, you should definitely go for this particular journal. And if you don't, then please let me know why. Because if your domain is related, if your research is related to the aim and scope of this particular journal or transaction, then I think it should be your first choice, because it is in the field of smart grid. It is one of the top niche journal. Additionally, its powerful features will help you to get the wider audience, to get better collaboration, to get more citations, etc. Okay, and as a beginner, if you get one of your work in this particular journal or transaction, then obviously it's a very great start. So closing this video, I would like to request you to please comment down below and let me know what are the shortcomings of this particular video and how we can make our video more engaging and how we can improve the analysis further. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks again. Happy learning.